Hey, Eric.
Hey, John.
Happy almost Thanksgiving.
Happy almost Thanksgiving. I successfully made it over the river and through the woods
To
and
grandmother's house.
arrived at grandmother's house. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. That is better than the alternative.
Yeah. 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 No, it's good. But it's Utah, northern Utah, so it's snow and it's been snowy. um, which is a change of pace.
Do you have tires to drive in the snow on your car?
Yeah, my wife's car has all-wheel drive and has.
Okay.
They're not snow tires, but they're all weather. They're decent tires.
Okay.
We're getting around,
Okay.
and they do things like plow the roads really well around here. So
I don't know what you mean by that. I don't understand.
Yeah, and they use things like salt. But no, it's good. Grandma's house is great.
That's cool. That's cool. It's good to be able to be with family on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and I even pinged a couple of my old college buddies who, like my freshman year of college, I met a couple guys first time freshman year of college, and we've kind of kept in touch ever since. And we ended up going out to dinner and having a great time. Just kind of reminiscing about the old days. One of them is now a grandpa.
Yikes.
And
you're too young for that. I don't understand.
I feel like I am too young for that, but anyways, it was just great fun. We went to this Peruvian food restaurant just to kind of hang out, and Peruvian food was really good.
I really don't know what to expect.
I had no idea.
Is it Argentinian food adjacent? Because I like Argentinian food.
I think so, except it had more vegetables.
Well, that did not. Those did not.
That's not a selling point for you.
No. Well, I'm just saying that they weren't a huge part of the Argentinian meals that I was served.
Yes.
Veggie what?
Yeah. Anyways, no, it's been a fantastic kind of. We drove out over the weekend. Being able to work remotely is awesome because I worked remotely yesterday and today, and now tomorrow and the rest of the week will be family focused and Thanksgiving and all that good stuff. So
yeah, that's good. I had a couple people say to me, "Hey, is Eric working today?" And I was like, "Ping him. He's responding at least."
Yeah.
So one of the nice things about being remote
is wherever you are, there you're at, or whatever that phrase is.
Wherever you go, there you are.
Yeah. Wherever you go, there you are. That's fun. Exactly it.
I have not been back to Utah County for like 15 years. I don't know. I guess I flew through Salt Lake City, but that's what you and other people have said to me, that it's like just solid from the point of the mountain around.
All the way. Yeah. And they call it Silicon Slopes, because everybody has to have Silicon Valley, Silicon something. Up in Oregon, we're Silicon Forest. So it's Silicon Slopes, and it literally, you name the big company, they have a massive office building, and it's just office building after office building and high tech, dense high tech. Right at that point of the mountain now. You would not recognize it. So, anyways.
Yeah, fun.
I drove by your favorite burger place.
Man.
I didn't take a picture.
Again.
I was going to take a picture and text it to you and make you jealous.
But I got to go back there at some point. I don't know what it's going to take to get me to go back, though, because I have nothing drawing me to Utah, really. and I think the closest we got was when we drove from Oregon to New York.
Right. You had to roll through.
Yeah, we rolled through, but it was farther north.
Yeah.
So, anyway. And I did actually suggest, I was like, hey, you wanna drive down and kind of drive past our old house? It's only like an hour and a half out of the way, one way. Add 3 hours to our trip. And my wife and the kids were like, why would we do that? I'm like,
do we get a vote, or is this a mandate?
No. I'm not saying that we're it's a democracy in the family, but we try to take into account other people's perspectives.
Yes, exactly. But,
yeah. Well, I had like one kind of funny as security-ish adjacent thing that happened this weekend, because I mean, one of the things that happened, I guess a couple of weeks ago, because my wife texted me while I was in India. She was like, "What's up with this AT&T bill?" And it was like double the normal amount. And I was like, "What? I don't know. That doesn't make any sense." And so, I looked in that app a little bit, but it wasn't enough, and I didn't bother till I got back. So anyway, I get back, and I'm like, last week I was like, oh gosh, I gotta go figure out what was going on. And it turns out it was, so I call support, and they're like, oh, we see there's a late charge on your bill. We'll refund that. And I'm like, okay, but why would there be? I mean, I've literally been on auto pay on this account for
decades,
20 years, 25 years. I mean, like,
as long as they start, whenever they started auto pay, you're like, I'm in.
Yeah, like I mean, I am. I don't want to have to worry, like, who write checks. I don't understand. Like, no, like I auto pay all the things. So I was like, okay, whatever. But why did the October, I think, payment not happen? And so anyway, so I go in again and wind up talking to a representative who's like, yeah, it looks like, your bill just didn't get charged. And I'm like, so why didn't it get charged? Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, net. And I don't know, maybe they were just lying to me to get me off the phone, but they were like, oh, I do see on here we had a billing system outage from September 26th through October 15th or something like that. And that would have been in the time frame that yours. So if you were one of the people affected, maybe it just didn't get billed, and then you got double charged the next month. It's like, whatever, just so long as I'm not getting reported for credit for, late payments and stuff like that. I guess I don't care. But I'm like, but secondly, what's going on with this bill? Oh my gosh, it's so high. So, because I hadn't looked at it for months and months and months and months and months. And so, of course, they're like, well, here's the way to get, like, basically save $60 a month on the bill. And I'm like, you know what? I'll jump through some hoops to save $60 a month.
Yeah.
But the net of it was that I needed to transfer the account into my wife's name. It's in my name, even though my cell isn't even on that account and hasn't been for 15 years. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, cool. Because she's a teacher. They do like a 25% teacher discount or something like that. I'm like, cool. I even looked up her schools in the list of school. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, cool. A transfer of account ownership or something like that. There's a process to happen. Okay, fine. And then I get in this infinite loop where it's like, because I have to set up an account for her. And it says, let's finish setting up your account. Which account do you want to use? My account, my email address, or a new account? And I say, a new account. And it says, put in your email. It says, oh, your account hasn't been finished. Let's finish setting up your account. Go back to the first page. Go back to step 2. What account would you like to use? My old email or a different one? Mike, I would like to use a different one. Forgot password? Sorry, your account's not fully set up. You can't forgot password, a password that you haven't ever set, evidently. Go into AT&T store. Person in there is like, I totally can't help you. I mean, after replicating the infinite loop.
After attempting.
And I'm like, okay, fine. This is what we're going to... I understand playing this game. I play this game all the time. Click there, click there, click there, click there. Oh, notice how you're back at step 2? Yeah, try that again. Try different options? Sure, I tried them all. Anyway, fine. He's like, I'm sorry. I don't have... You'll have to call tech support. Okay, fine. So I call tech support later on. And I'm like, I need you to reset my wife's password. Like I'm trying to like be as simple as I can. And of course they're like, no, can you log in? I'm like, I haven't set a password yet on this. It's trying to force me to log in. And she's like, use it's a Yahoo email. Use your Yahoo password. And I said, excuse me, what? She's like, no, use your Yahoo password. We have a partnership with Yahoo. You can log in with your Yahoo password. I'm like, this is not a SSO page. You are not using Yahoo as an IDP. Like, what? But she was so insistent on this that I
Humored her?
I semi-humored her. I said, I can't. It fails to log in. And so, of course, she says, well, can you go and log into a Yahoo property with the same username and password? Okay, fine. You're following a script. Sure. I go and log in because, of course, I have the password because it's in 1Password.
1Password.
And, and I'm like, can you please just... But that's the whole thing. I'm like, I know exactly what this would be like if you were using Yahoo as an IDP to get a SAML token or a OAuth token to log in. 100%. Okay, maybe there's thousands of people in the world that would know this, but you're probably not your general AT&T person. Anyway, as soon as she capitulated or whatever, and she's like, okay, I sent you a temporary password. Boom, boom, all the way through. Everything works. It was fine. But it was the whole, you can log in with your Yahoo password. I'm like, I don't know where that's true.
Yeah.
But not on AT&T.com.
If I can follow up with a similar rant I have with using tech support, brilliant business idea. Figure out a way to convince whatever tech support you're working with that you are smart and have done all the previous steps.
This is FizzBuzz, right?
Yeah, because so on, I guess it was Monday or Sunday, my fancy little Aura ring, which I really, really like. I took it off my finger, put it on the charger, went and got ready in the morning, took my shower, got ready, and that's how I charge it. I put it on the ring on there, and I came back out, put it on, didn't think much of it. Around 10 o'clock or so, I launched the app because I wanted to see, hey, what's my heart rate, all that stuff, what's my overnight sleep, all that stuff. It won't connect to the ring. The phone won't connect to the ring. And I'm like, well, okay. So I go through they give you very nice help instructions, how to do a soft reset, how to do a hard reset, how to do, how to connect the ring when it's not connecting, how to do this, how to do that. What has clearly happened is the Bluetooth chip in the ring has failed.
Ooh.
And so I'm talking to tech support, and they say, do this. I'm like, if you would have just read the email I submitted, you would have noticed that I tried that. Oh, I understand now, and this is all email. They don't have a phone. I couldn't find a phone number. And it's the Thanksgiving week holiday. But anyways, try this. I'm like, if you would have read the previous email, I did try that, and I didn't do that. And this is a 24-hour turnaround. So the latest is this morning. 3 days later, I get a try a factory reset. I'm like, if you would have read the original email, the Bluetooth connection no longer works. For the factory set to work, you have to connect the phone to the ring via Bluetooth, and that is the problem. It's the definition of insanity. I keep repeating myself, and I actually posted on Bluesky. I didn't call out Aura, but I'm like, I can't tell if the correct word for this is Byzantine or Kafkaesque.
I did see that.
Because it just, anyways, sorry. Tech support rant paused for now. Never over.
It was pretty funny. So,
yeah.
But anyway, one other bright spot, and then we get in topics. The chickens are in the coop.
The chickens are in the luxury penthouse, huh?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Although, just this morning, yesterday, Monday, was the first day that, so we locked them in for like 2 days. And then yesterday I went out and
a health code or a fire code violation? Something like that.
They have food, they have water, they have roosting bar, they have nesting box, they have, and it's not like it's hot and going to overheat in there or anything like that. So no. I think
what's the chicken equivalent
you gotta program
to OSHA?
your chicken. You gotta so they know where the bar is.
Yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, so that's all good. And,
cool.
And because it's all a game of boxes. So now that the chickens are out of there, we can move the horse and donkey up to that pasture, and blah blah blah, blah. All sorts of stuff that just kind of
the dominoes are falling.
Yep, it's all one domino or another. So
all right,
it's all good. It's all good.
Cool.
Hey, how about topics? What you got for me tonight?
All right, so I have been spending a lot of time on Bluesky and playing around with it and the APIs, and so sidebar, Bluesky to me really truly does feel like Twitter in the early days of Twitter. And what I used Twitter for early days to replace my RSS feeds, Bluesky seems to be a nice replacement. So my topic, I stumbled across a tech topic, and it's specific to Bluesky, but Bluesky has a blob storage API, which means you can upload and download arbitrary files into Bluesky's blob storage, and the blobs don't show up on your timeline. They just exist. And
then presumably they're expected to be referenced in the timeline, but there's no requirement for that if you're at the API level.
Yeah. The images or videos or whatever you're posting up there. So there's a GitHub repo where this security researcher, public data storage,
public data server. Yeah.
So there's a GitHub link that a security researcher, at least I think they're a security researcher, they post security research stuff, but started to go down the path of, okay, if I can store anything and I can do get blob from anywhere, how much more difficult is to take it to the next step and use Bluesky for a command and control server or to upload malware
as a distribution
mechanism. And so there's some additional stuff. So that's kind of the security aspect of this. It didn't go into a whole lot of detail. This was just kind of one of those things I thought, and I am quite sure the security folks at Bluesky have at least considered this notion. And I'm sure they have some stuff in place, but an interesting... So I think living in obscurity kind of keeps you out of the public eye.
Limelight.
Now that you're getting all the new users and everybody's bailing out of Twitter. And I saw some article today about how Zuckerberg's trying to marshal the forces to make sure Threads is his Twitter replacement. Threads is an option. So anyways,
yeah,
I thought it was so it's really just a Bluesky post to a link, but there probably is going to be some more chatter about this as we go on. So there's my article for today.
Protocol. So they use the AT protocol, which is the authenticated transfer protocol. All user data is signed by authoring users, which makes it possible to broadcast the data through many services and prove it's real without having to speak directly to the originating server.
Yep.
And a PDS is a server that hosts a user. So who hosts Bluesky's PDSs?
So Bluesky does. They own their own. But you or I could stand up our own server and wire it into the distributed. It's Mastodon-like in that aspect.
Distributed.
Yeah. So there you go. That's a short one, but that's my article for today. Keep an eye on Bluesky from a security perspective, because I think what the bad guys used to be doing to Twitter, that Twitter was fighting, I'm assuming Bluesky at least understands and knows that they're engineers and they're but there'll be different things. There'll be different things that prop up.
I love the thread though that you linked, which it says like at least the third post I see in there says, "Darn it, the blob storage endpoint doesn't support HTTP range requests."
Right.
So you can't just read Parquet files directly out of the
right.
Funny. Yeah. Okay.
So
well, anything that can be will be abused. That is not no surprise. Okay, so I had like I don't know. I don't know what. So I think this is kind of like maybe 3/4 of a topic, but it's okay. So my first thing, I saw this. I forget where I saw this. I think I saw it yesterday. But Macy's has not been having a banner year. Like, I don't know, their stock's down a huge bunch, whatever. I don't know.
Is this a Thanksgiving Day parade article?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Is
there going to be a Thanksgiving Day parade?
This is as they're trying to close the books on Q3 and report earnings, they're having to delay it because, let me read this. At blah blah blah, as we're trying to do consolidated financial statements, we identified an issue related to delivery expenses in one of our accrual accounts. The company consequently initiated an independent investigation. As a result of the independent investigation and forensic analysis, the company identified that a single employee with responsibility for small package delivery expense accounting intentionally made erroneous accounting accrual entries to hide $132 to $154 million worth of cumulative delivery expenses from the fourth quarter of 2021 through the third quarter of 2024. So for 3 years, an employee hid, I don't know how they hide, but like accounting wise,
$150 million
hides $154 million. So like Macy's is having to
restate,
delay their announcement. They said that they'll do it by December 11th. So couple more weeks for them to finish the investigation and release it. So security adjacent maybe, but kind of.
I don't know how you intentionally make erroneous.
And what's the what's the outcome? It says there's no indication the erroneous accounting accrual entries. Again, anyway, I'm not a CPA. Don't play one on TV. I see one a couple times here, but
that's as close as I get. Have a very bad day?
Well, it says the individual who engaged in this conduct is no longer employed by the company. The investigation has not identified involvement by any other employee. But it feels to me, and again, there's not enough data in Macy's statement, so maybe they'll have more by the time earnings comes out. Is it just pure ignorance? Was it malicious? Was it for what purpose?
My boss said I have to hit certain numbers, and so here's one way I can hit certain numbers.
I guess
by hiding
small package
numbers.
Shipping can match Amazon's free if you just don't charge anything to the books. I don't know what the but also how do you miss 154, assuming $154 million was paid to FedEx, UPS, whoever the shipping companies are.
Well,
how do you
it's one of my favorite lines from Independence Day. You don't think the U.S. government actually paid $10 million for a hammer, do you? Or it's something along those lines. The government accounting occasionally has $10 million hammers. So.
I guess. I just I can't. My brain segmentation faults trying to think of that kind of stuff, especially at these levels of dollar values. But anyway, okay. So that was my first topic. I don't know what's gonna happen about that. It's not really security related, but I saw it and I was just like, oh, somebody's talk about dominoes. Many people are having very bad days because of something.
All the way to the board, I would assume.
Oh,
who has
huge.
checkbox on the financial reports.
Huge. Yeah, totally.
Ugh.
So, speaking of employee management, my second topic is Starbucks related. So we so can you spell supply chain? Problems with the interdependent web we weave. Turns out that a ransomware attack on it says a third-party software supplier, but it sounds like they're the scheduler and time card keeper for Starbucks, has disrupted the system for many companies, not just Starbucks. But this article that we'll put is a Seattle Times link. So it says the coffee giant is manually tallying workers' hours and pay. Although down elsewhere in the article, it said that so that people get paid, they're going to be paid for their scheduled time, and they'll have to reconcile with like if they did overtime or swapped shifts or anything like that. But that they've handed out templates for store managers to help with scheduling for a couple weeks out. I think it said for the December 9th week or something like that. I didn't pull that one out, but so it says, let's see. Blue Yonder Group is the actual underlying company that was affected here. It says it's a Panasonic subsidiary that provides supply chain management software. Said its systems were disrupted by a November 21st ransomware incident. Starbucks is among its customers and uses Blue Yonder software to schedule shifts and track retail workers' hours in North America. Starbucks says Blue Yonder hasn't provided a timeline for when the issue will be resolved. So that's always the fun part of the incident. When you're like, when will it be done? About 5 minutes after we know what to do.
Right.
But let's see, it says to ensure workers get paid on November 29th, they'll get compensated for scheduled shifts the week of November 18th. And then it says blah blah blah. Blue Yonder experienced disruptions determined to be the result of a ransomware incident. Since learning of the incident, the Blue Yonder team has been working diligently together with external cybersecurity firms to make progress in their recovery process. We have implemented several defensive and forensic protocols.
Good.
I know, right? So anyway, but fundamentally, I'm trying to picture like the future world, right? I mean, because this whole like specialization and supply chain and it's all a sort of a least common denominator. How can we get the arguably best service for lowest cost in many ways, but and specialization gives in general economies of scale. At what point do people like start doing double entry? Is the risk to the business, or maybe the place to think about that is, where are the risks to the business so great that it's worth having redundancy?
Yeah.
And the problem with all of that is when it's not needed, it looks like a waste, and then when it is needed, you sure wish you woulda.
Yeah.
So anyway, those are my two articles for tonight. They're both semi. I mean, the second one's clearly ransomware, but security adjacent. So
yeah,
there you go.
All right.
How about something fun on the Thanksgiving weekend?
I got two something funs, and I found them on Bluesky. It's all Bluesky night.
Okay, Bluesky so, it is.
John Scalzi, I know an author that you.
I have read many of his books.
And he is now pretty active on Bluesky, so I follow him. And he did a post that was something about an article that he had written back in, or a blog post, or on his whatever blog, back in 2011, which struck me interesting today. So I'll just kind of read it. It's, for no particular reason, I thought of an observation that lexicographer, an old college pal, Aaron McKean, had about the word classy. The gist of which was that if someone used the word to describe themselves, it is quite obvious that they are in fact the opposite. Someone else calls you classy, maybe you are. You call someone else classy, maybe they are too. Call yourself classy? It's what you're trying to sell yourself as, not necessarily what you are. And it occurs to, so this is Scalzi talking on me. It occurs to me that this idea has application outside the word classy, since I've often found that adjectives people use to describe themselves exist on a spectrum with aspirational on one end and delusional on the other.
I do like the way he writes, yes.
Yes. With otherwise very little correlation to who they actually are. Okay. I am a humble man, probably not humble. I am punctual, probably not punctual. I'm a funny guy, and so on. And so, as there already exists a McKean's law, which is this person he's referencing, with respect to the words, so here's McKean's law. Any correction of the speech or writing of others will contain at least one grammatical spelling or typographical error. So he says, allow me now instead to suggest what I will henceforth label as McKean's inversion, to wit, the adjective a person says they are is frequently the thing they are not. I just thought it was funny, humorous.
Funny.
Fun little note. And then I do have a second YouTube video for my something fun, and this is just something that it's a long YouTube video. Basically a guy, and this is I also got from Bluesky, and it's old. It's not recent. I think it's I don't know how old it is, but the subway system, BART, the Bay Area Rapid Transit in the Bay Area, so San Francisco area, he basically snuck a GoPro camera to the front of a BART engine at its origin point, and then video the BART all the way through the system to the other side, and then he took the camera off, and then he posted that on YouTube. And he's got great inlays with it. And he, at the beginning of the video kind of talks about, hey, when you're ever traveling somewhere in like public transit, you're looking off to the side. What's actually in front of you? So it is.
I watched like 10 minutes of this. It was pretty cool.
It's mesmerizing.
It really was, especially when I was going like over which train track is it going to take? That was very cool.
It just completely mindless fun YouTube video of watching the BART leave a station and hit each station on the way in its travels. And it's, I don't remember how long it is, but it's like over an hour.
Yeah.
Anyways, good stuff. Those are my something funs for today.
Okay. Well, since you had a second thing that was a YouTube, I went ahead and grabbed a YouTube as well. So I'll tell you that since we're talking about YouTube right now before my other something fun. So you know how much I watch TV, general TV, but
not at all.
Not at all, pretty much. But I think and I don't know that I've watched all of these, but they're on like part 51 and they're all like 15 to 20, maybe 30 minutes of these things. And so I don't know how many, that's like 20 hours in. I don't know. So these are some people that I won't say that I watch this, but I often will put it on while I'm doing other things. And then if something interesting, I might go watch it, or sometimes I've got it where I can see the screen. But
right.
This is builders building a house. And and they've got a whole bunch of videos, including like some whole I think once they finish building a house and filming the whole thing, then they'll go back and like cut a 2-hour like video of the whole thing. But they are building a monster house. I think it's in North Carolina or something like that. monster house.
Okay.
And it's fascinating. I don't know. I love it. This is up my alley of just like, what's it take to actually build a house? And like part of the things that I love, like it's all like, it's not all ritzy stuff. Like sometimes stuff doesn't line up and they're cutting like little shims to like lay on top so that they can have things lay up. And sometimes they're, using the planer because the 2x4 is a little warped and sticking up and they have to like, hack in the nails so that they're deep enough so they can run a planer across. And I mean, all sorts of stuff.
Right.
But anyway, there you go. If you need 20 hours of mindless TV so far for this one, you can watch it. It's Perkins Brothers, I think.
Perkins Builder Brothers. Sorry, I was skipping through videos as you were talking.
Yeah, Perkins Builder Brothers, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's two brothers and a couple, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 of their general construction workers' hands. Right. Anyway, fun stuff. Check it out. Okay, so my something fun is city under the ice in Greenland. So this was called Camp Century. Let's see, it says the Cold War was full of ambitious and often strange projects. Case in point, Camp Century, U.S. Army's subterranean nuclear apocalypse bunker built inside Greenland's near-surface ice sheet.
Whoa.
Started in 1959 under the auspices of a polar research site.
Of course.
And while they did collect ice samples, its larger purpose was Cold War. So they planned for 52,000 square miles of tunnels capable of housing both personnel and nuclear weaponry, not far from Russian borders. And here's what Popular Science said in its February 1960 issue. In building the fantastic community 800 miles from the North Pole, Army engineers in cooperation with the Danish government, Greenland is part of the Kingdom of Denmark, have proved that the traditionally antagonistic Arctic can be tamed. It will be home, snug, comfortable, and warm for 100 scientists, engineers, and soldiers who are expected to move in late this year. Okay. Anyway, so a NASA plane testing an instrument was flying over Greenland, and they caught pictures of this image via radar. And it says it wasn't until analyzing the radar images that the team realized what they had flown over without even realizing it. So, okay, it's still in the same spot that it was 50 years ago.
Right.
We didn't know what it was at first, said Alex Gardner, another, here's a great word, cryospheric scientist. Okay. Another cryospheric scientist team member. After pinpointing the radar anomaly's location, researchers realized they accidentally mapped the facility and its current conditions. Time has not been kind to Camp Century. Since its abandonment, at least another 70 feet of snow and ice is piled on top of the base, and its nuclear reactors 47,000 gallons of nuclear waste. Meanwhile, ice sheet plasticity has almost undoubtedly warped facility walls and hallways, a main factor in the U.S. Army's decision to ultimately shutter the project in 1967. Ironically, that nuclear waste may one day bring Camp Century back to the public eye. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
So, foreshadowing. Exactly. So, anyway, I saw this. I saw this at some point. In fact, I think I actually saw it on Bluesky. But then when I was looking for, hey, what cool stuff did I see? I was like, I saw this and I was like, oh, hey, there you go. There you go.
Cool.
So, fun stuff.
Yeah, well, have a fantastic Thanksgiving, John.
Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Enjoy the time.
Yeah.
And drive home safe.
Yes, I will see you next week.
Next week it is. Talk to you later,
All right.
Eric.
Bye.
Bye.